So E3 2016 just happened recently. There was many new games announced, including Zelda, God of War, Days Gone, and there was a new Quake game, which is made by, was it ID Software? Is it id? Which is owned by Bethesda. Anyways. So Sony also announced the PS Neo rumored to be coming out later this year. Microsoft announced a new Xbox, the Xbox One S, and the Xbox Project Scorpio coming out next year. And Nintendo actually didn't announce anything with their NX, but we know that the NX is coming. I just wanted to talk about E3 for a little bit, some of the standout things that we've noticed. I guess I'll go first, since I brought up hardware. Let's talk about the hardware a little bit. So the reasoning why they're coming out with new hardware, I think it's a little different for each of the manufacturers. Sony wants to come out with a new console because they want to support their whole VR system, their Gear VR, and their existing PS4 is not powerful enough to render, two cameras at 60 FPS or 90 FPS or whatever's required for VR. Would you guys be interested in that? Playing VR on console instead of PC?
I gotta be honest with you, like VR does not interest me at all.
VR feels like how the Kinect or the PSI or whatever of the current generation. Like before, they were saying that the Kinect, you can do your motion controllers and whatnot. This generation, they're going with VR, which is actually, it almost feels like an evolution of that whole motion controller system, because they still have that system in place. If you look at the HTC Vive, you do have to set up these sensors on different parts of the room to track your motion when you're wearing the the Vive. So it does seem like an evolution of the previous generation gimmick. So what about Nick or Thomas? Are you guys interested in any console VR or VR in general?
I mean, I personally actually have an Oculus VR, and Oculus Rift.
How's it?
I mean, I was expecting like a high, like 1080p high resolution thing, and I have the DK2, so it's like the middle. It's not the first gen, and it's not the newest, so it's like in the middle.
Yep.
So it's still like a little blurry. You can, if you pay attention, you can see like each individual pixel, so it's not at high resolution.
The DK2 is already, I think, twice the resolution of the first one.
Yeah. And the CK1, I don't know if that one's even better. I think it is, though. But it's like, I can't wear it for like a long period of time, otherwise I'll start to get a headache, and I can't do like high moving, like riding a roller coaster. It's just because I don't know if I'm not wearing enough, so I'm not used to that, or if it's just my subconscious going, you're not moving, and you're watching yourself move.
I think a lot of people have that issue with headaches and VR headsets. It's something that they're working on really hard to try to fix.
And the fact that it's like right in your face, so it's not super high resolution. So it's like you're seeing the world in like low res, basically, and that can also give people headaches.
Yeah, that might be an issue, but I think the other headsets might have that better. Whereas the Gear VR uses a Galaxy Note, or whatever. It basically uses a phone in it, and that's what 1440p, I think. So it's pretty high resolution.
Yeah. So they're working on it. It's definitely getting better each time. And I mean, it's really fun. Like, I've played games, and so I played this game called Don't Let Go, where you have to like hold two keys on your keyboard, and then it tries to basically scare you. And one point, like a snake goes up and around your back, and like I felt like the snake like on my body because I was seeing it. And I have that experience because I actually have a pet snake, so I could recall what that feels like to have like a snake like climbing up your arm. So I like felt it, and I was like, whoa, but it's not there. So it's really fun and interesting. and I think it's definitely going to become a major thing because there's already like Hulu apps and stuff on it where I can just watch TV on the Rift.
That sounds so stupid to me. I've seen those before. It sounds so stupid.
I mean, at first I was like, yeah, it sounds stupid, but would you rather watch it on your little 21-inch monitor or put your headset on, and now it's like the size of the room? It's like a huge thing. So they're trying to say like,
and then
you can get a huge monitor.
You watch a movie, and then after the movie, just have a bucket beside you to vomit because you've been wearing a VR headset the whole time.
Well, I mean, if they get better, I feel like it's gonna get better and better. So in the future, it might work. Right now, it's a little I wouldn't recommend watching it on the VR headset right now, but in the future, I bet it would be pretty fun.
What if they solved those issues? What if they had a higher resolution screen? They reduced the latency on the headset even further, and they fixed that nausea issue.
And they have to make it wireless. That's another big thing.
That's a big thing right now. The cables. Actually, you know what? The Gear VR is wireless because it's a phone.
It's a phone. Yeah.
So I think that it's possible, but at the current moment, if you're using, let's say, if they go with Wi-Fi introduces a whole bunch of latency and
problems.
Yeah. If you introduce a certain amount of latency, and when people turn their heads, and let's say it's 100 milliseconds, that is very disorienting when there's a delay in your movement. Because when we move our heads in real life, we expect it to happen right away. We expect our eyes to be turning at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it.
I definitely see it as something that's going to improve in the future and a new technology that has like endless possibilities.
Maybe not endless, but okay. I think augmented reality is going to be much better than VR, but we'll see. Let's see where HoloLens goes.
Yeah, like I was about to say, like HoloLens is kind of the next step in VR.
Mm-hmm. They have demos of HoloLens at some Microsoft stores in different cities. Anyways, so let's move on with the new consoles from E3. Microsoft announced two consoles, the Xbox One S, which is a slim version of their existing Xbox, their current gen Xbox One, which is 40% smaller than the current Xbox with the power brick integrated into the Xbox itself. So it's I don't know why the power brick wasn't integrated into the Xbox since, the original Xbox, but whatever.
Room.
Yeah, but the PlayStation always had the power brick inside. It wasn't a big issue.
I don't know how the internal hardware works, but I mean that's also cost wise. I don't know the difference cost wise from a PSU that requires a brick and one that doesn't.
Well, the PlayStation and the Xbox have generally been around the same size, like for the different generations.
Right, but like cost wise too, like. I don't know the hardware differences, but yes, it's nice that they're putting it.
It's a pain in the ass when you're trying to hide cables behind your HD TV or hide it behind your console, your entertainment cabinets, and you have this giant brick that you have to put somewhere. Where are you going to put that? And it's really ridiculous. And the PlayStation, since the very beginning, have always just been one cable. The power adapter is always on the inside of a PlayStation. And I guess it's Microsoft finally figured it out that people don't like this power brick. It just took them decades. Microsoft also announced the Project Scorpio, which has been rumored for a long time. And while we mentioned that the new Sony PlayStation Neo can do VR, and that's one of the reasons why they're doing it. It can also do 4K. And I think that's one of the main reasons that Microsoft is releasing a more powerful console, because they want to be able to push 4K. I don't think Microsoft has any ambitions for VR at this time. Do you guys know? Have you heard anything?
They probably, I haven't heard anything, but they probably want to be able to support it, but they're not going to go into it themselves.
It seems like a lot of what Microsoft does with the Xbox is always like, it's kind of like the iPhone of the gaming consoles, you know. Samsung did it first, but iPhone makes it more expensive and somehow more popular. And I think that, you know, they'll do what they've always done, which is they'll wait for other consoles to bring it out first, and then they will expand upon it and make it more appealable to the buyers out there. Somehow they always manage to do that.
And they also managed to hoodwink the buyers into thinking that they're the first to do it.
Kind of like Apple. But no, I think a lot of the appeal behind that is the fact that Microsoft and Xbox in particular seem to get their claws into a lot of proprietary game ownership. So, you know, like there are some games that are out across multiple platforms. Is games come out across multiple platforms, but then you'll have games that are only on Xbox, and it seems like there's a lot more of them than there are of other competitors.
So you're talking about exclusives for Xbox. You know what? After watching that Microsoft's E3 press conference, it seems like that's no longer the case. It seems like these exclusives for the Xbox are also going to be on Windows 10 on the PC.
So it's going to be from one Microsoft platform to another.
Right, but that opens up a whole different world where people can now build PCs. A new fantastic place.
Okay, yeah. But it was bad when I did it.
Let's say 90% of the games coming out on the Xbox One are now suddenly also playable on the PC. That's going to entice a lot of gamers to build a PC instead of buying an Xbox. And that's definitely going to cannibalize their Xbox sales. So I think they have a larger, like a bigger picture here that maybe we're not seeing.
No, that's not, I don't think that's how it's going to work, because people are going to play on the console that they want to. If anything, it's just going to make them want to buy games more. It'll like increase the cost or the sales of games, because people are going to want to play on whatever system they like to play on. Like by making the games cross-platform, it's not going to make people switch, because people have been using the same console for however long.
I think one of the reasons why people stick with a certain console is because of their achievements, which I think is kind of stupid.
I don't care about achievements.
Yeah, neither do I.
I do. And that's... No, yeah, I mean, it's... But the thing... There are certain games that I do, but like, another thing too is it's like the single-player games that I care about. Example, like I've mentioned before, like Tomb Raider and Assassin's Creed. I play those on my Xbox One because... A, the control scheme works as a console game, and 2, my achievements. So I'm an achievement whore.
And the 3 for me, with consoles, I'm sat downstairs in my living room on my sofa, which is vastly more comfortable than my computer chair.
Yeah, but you could easily move your computer too.
Yeah, you could set up like your PC.
You've obviously never seen this computer. It's heavier than I am.
No, like you could use a Steam box and stream from your computer to your like HD TV at low latency.
Or make a really long HDMI cord.
Oh yeah, that works as well. And use like a wireless controller or something, wireless keyboard. We're just saying that it's possible.
I just said you could.
Yeah, it's possible, so that's not really a big issue, like standing in your way. Yeah, I think it's kind of weird how also Microsoft announced Project Scorpio, which is basically a super version of the Xbox One coming out in a year and a half. And they know that's going to cannibalize this holiday season sales. They know people are going to be like, come on, you can't tell me that it's not going to cannibalize at least a certain percentage of their
maybe
sales.
A certain part of it, but they also want to, I mean, they got to stay competitive with PlanetSide for PlayStation.
Yes, PlanetSide.
Both PS, yeah. So they need to be like, hey, yeah, we realize the PS 4.5 is coming out, but don't worry, our next gen is too, because the Slim, it's really only supporting like 4K Blu-rays. It's not really supporting 4K gaming.
Yeah.
Whereas Whereas the Scorpio will be 4K gaming. Or
I
support
don't
it anyways.
understand the hype about 4K. Like, I personally can't really see a difference.
It's based on your screen size. Play on like a 70-inch, you'll notice the difference.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like
Yeah.
like on my 20-inch monitor. I don't think I would see a difference.
But also on
No,
a
you
70-inch screen, you're not sitting like 3 feet away from it. You're probably
Some
sitting
people
like
do.
10 feet away. Yeah,
But
I've done
again,
that before.
you have to sort of really bear in mind the fact that a lot of purchases that are made these days aren't technically minded either. I mean, very few people go out there and say, yeah, I'm going to buy the new Radeon because it's an AMD and it's got this processor. They're going to be like, the new Radeon is out. I have to have that because my
What's a
neighbor has it.
Radeon?
His son has it. Radeon graphics card. God knows what you guys call it.
Oh, Radeon. Man, I was
it's
so
a
confused there
Radeon.
for a second.
But no, potato. Let's get over that. But a lot of it comes down to keeping up with the Joneses. A lot of people don't have the monitors where 4K is going to make a huge difference, but it's a new fad, and so they have to have it.
Yeah, for sure. The manufacturers have to push some gimmick onto the people in every generation, right? They have to have some kind of marketing scheme to get people to upgrade to the new version, right? And last generation televisions, it was 3D. This current generation is now 4K, where they're just trying to push different technologies on us. And we all know how 3D turned out, so that's great.
3D works so well, right? You all own it.
But in between the 3D and the 4K is the generation of smart TVs.
Sure,
I mean,
I
I can
actually
go
used to,
downstairs
like-
on my TV, and just on my TV, nothing else, no box hooked up to it, I can watch Netflix. I could watch YouTube Live. I could watch this stream on my TV downstairs.
Yeah, I used to
I
say
could
like
browse the internet. I think I could possibly watch porn. I mean, it's crazy.
I used
Wait,
to
what?
say smart. Oh, Francis is interested. I used
gonna
to
buy
say
that now.
smart TVs are dumb, but then like we happen to get one. Almost all TVs nowadays are. Can't really get one.
You just said smart TVs are dumb, and I found that funny.
Ha 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 ha. But
it's just me.
like I thought it was like a waste of money, but nowadays like almost all TVs are smart. Like it's hard to get them without. So once we actually got one,
Yeah.
I realized how nice it actually really is, because we used to have this thing called like a Roku, which allows you to like get all those apps like Netflix and all that. But now it's like built into the TV, so it's actually kind of nice.
Mhm.
It's all on one remote. I don't have to worry about like where's the 3 different remotes I need and stuff. So it's kind of just compacting things.
Yeah, some televisions even have Chromecast built in.
Yeah.
I know one of my friends' new Samsung's Chromecast built right into it. Is kind of funny. I think it's Samsung. Wait, I don't remember what it was. It's great that they're integrating all that stuff into it, but at the same time, like I would be fine with a dumb TV because I'm used to it. Maybe the younger generation, I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't get a smart TV because I was like, oh, I want one. It was more just like
It just
kind
comes
of
with
have
it.
to.
Yeah,
It's kind
yeah.
of funny how I ended up with my smart TV. I had a dumb TV. It was like the dumbest TV ever, and my son got peed off one day and decided to throw the remote control at it. And my housing insurance replaced it with a smart TV, and I was like, "The fuck is this? I don't know what I'm doing with it."
Wait, how did you get your insurance to replace it if you're the one who broke it?
Because I have third-party damage covered under it, including accidental damage.
Including
that's,
children
that's
destroying.
awesome. That is awesome.
I pay for premium home insurance, contents insurance, because, well, I live in a housing estate in England that, if it was in the USA, would be referred to as the projects. So everything here has got really good insurance on it because, I can't afford to replace stuff if my house gets burgled or burns down.
But how often do you use that insurance? Like, how often are you actually using that type of insurance?
I've used it twice since I took it out, once for the TV and once for my son's iPad, which he also broke, and they replaced.
Do you think like it's equaled though? Because I feel like it's a lot more expensive per month or year, however you pay.
Oh no, I think it's incredibly worth what I pay for what I get from it.
Well, you still have to pay for home insurance either way. Like it's by law you have to have home insurance, right? So
Well, it's not a law in this country. It's just a peace of mind thing.
interesting. Yeah, it's you increase your premiums a little bit, and if you know that stuff is going to happen around your area, like you said, you're in the projects of your your country or whatever, of your town.
Yeah, somebody got stabbed on my road last night. That's how good this area is.
Okay, dang.
That is that's bad. It's probably
That's
two
scary.
bums, right? It was a bum fight.
No.
So where were we? Right, Project Scorpio. I mentioned that I think they're cannibalizing this year's sales, and I think Nick disagreed with me for there.
Well, that and it just because it's one of those things that the Slim is just like I said, it's a slight upgrade, but it's not like it's a new console. You're not. It's for those people who don't have an Xbox One yet that were looking for a little more incentive to get one, aka the 4K Blu-ray, or the people whose Xbox One dies and they need an Xbox. Like they're not.
But we're not
wait.
talking about the Slim right now. We're talking about the Project
Right,
Scorpio.
but you're saying that because you're saying that people aren't going to buy the Slim because the Scorpio is coming out in a year, or vice versa. They're going to buy the Slim and then they're not going to buy the Scorpio. And I'm saying I disagree because there's still plenty. There's reasons. People are not going to buy an Xbox One from now until the Scorpio comes out, which we don't even know when the Scorpio is coming out.
Holiday 2017.
That's so far out, though, that may not be the case. It could easily get bumped.
There's a lot of rumors going on around
Right.
that the PS Neo is coming out in 2016 before the end of the year.
Which I'm saying is not going to happen. I do not think
Why?
that'll happen.
Why do you
at
say
all.
that?
Because that's less than 6 months away at this point. They would know by now if that's going to be the case. They would start advertising for it.
Advertising, yeah.
Like, that's why I don't. It could be maybe Q1, sometime in spring, maybe.
Mhm.
But they usually try to do the holiday releases.
Yeah, definitely. I think they always
6
release
months
during
prior
holidays.
to, they don't just
But
start
it's
advertising,
just-
they start taking pre-orders.
Like I said, it's one of those things that the people who already have Xbox One who aren't going to get it. They're not going to get another Xbox One anyways, so it doesn't matter. The people who don't have an Xbox One but need a little bit of incentive because it's anywhere from a year to who knows when that the game comes out, they will go buy the Slim.
That is completely wrong because I don't have an Xbox, and if I was thinking of getting one now, that whole I'm going to get one is completely gone.
Can you not hack?
Because
it's already hacked.
Yeah, it's already hacked.
I was like,
Press
why
G.
can't I?
Press G. It says press G. Yeah, it definitely. If I know it's coming out in a 4K version, that's like what 5 times more powerful. Well, no, not 5 times. Like 3 times more powerful. Something like that. 3.5 times, whatever. It's a 6 teraflop system, and Microsoft also mentioned that they're not forcing developers to 4K. So developers could technically still just stick to 1080 and just amp the graphics up to ultra graphics and have high fidelity, everything HDR, anti-aliasing, everything all maxed out. Imagine that for a second. Same resolution as we have now.
You literally represent like 5% of the world. Like,
In what
most
sense?
people.
That I'm Chinese? You racist?
No, your freaking mind.
You're broke
You're
in the
gonna-
head.
You gotta elaborate a little bit because, like, in what sense?
But because people don't think like that. They don't think, oh, I'll just wait a year because there's a no one coming out. No, they want it now. They're going.
Yes, they
I
do.
need a no, the vast
in the game in the GameSpot stream.
I think what Nick's getting at, as was discussed earlier, you are going to have impulse buyers and they do run and rule the market a little bit. And so very, very, very few people, especially in a gaming environment where it is a case of keeping up with the Joneses, are frugal with their money and go, well, I'm just going to wait off because in, like a year and a bit, there's going to be a No, they'll just be like, you know what? I need to have this. When the next one comes out, I will trade this in.
That's a long time. Like, so you're going to sit there and not play for a year and a half, 2 years? Like, no.
No, most people have more than one console, or they have a PC and another console or something like that. So, yeah. Yeah, like I know you have all the consoles, don't you, Nick?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like that's
but if my Xbox died right now, I would go buy a Slim. I wouldn't wait until the next one came out.
Wait, is the Slim out right now?
No, but it
He's
comes
saying
out.
hypothetically.
It comes out soon. I
Right,
think it comes out.
Yeah, it should come out soon
before the end of the summer or something like that.
Yeah,
But
there's also there's a new controller with the Slim as well.
But that's what I'm
Oh,
trying
great!
to...
Another $60 I had to put into the thing.
Well, it comes...
No,
you,
it
you get
comes
one
with
free,
the console.
and
Yeah,
they're compatible.
yeah. The old ones are obviously
Bluetooth controllers
compatible.
at this point.
Yeah, they're the same controllers.
Oh, okay.
But anyways, it's...
We both said at the same time.
Yeah, there will be obviously some form of a hit. I think it's going to be so
Definitely
small.
Well, I'm glad you admit that.
It's going to be such a small hit. It doesn't matter. Like it.
Sure.
They are going to sell enough stuff to make it worth it. There's a Sunderer. Do I have my OS?
Sure. I just have a problem with them announcing. Me personally, I have a problem with them announcing so far from when it's releasing. It's like if Intel came out and said, we're going to release a 10 gigahertz, 10 core CPU in 2020. And you're like, okay, why are you announcing that now? It's 4 years from now. It doesn't make any sense. Right? You get what I'm saying? It's like, why would you announce that?
I forget about things in a week. How do you want me to remember something 4 years from
again,
now?
that is 100% because they're trying to stay competitive with the PlayStation. They're going, hey, I understand PlayStation's coming out with a game, but... or a new system.
It's the equivalent of whenever somebody who used to be famous suddenly becomes dead obscure, and then all of a sudden they do something stupid like, oh, by the way, I accidentally released a sex tape, or, shit like that. It's to remind people
yes,
that,
accidentally.
Hey, we're still here. I think it's a gaming equivalent of, hey, wait, we are still here.
All right, so let's just agree to disagree here that I believe it's going to have a big impact. You believe it's going to have a small impact.